Jill here, Special Needs Mom Talks. I am out in the woods to take some of my own advice and go out and ground myself, get away from where I'm living, all the people I'm living with for a little while, and just sit in nature and breathe a little. Because, wow, it's getting all bunched up in a lot of thought threads. Reflecting on self-love and my inner state of being and how difficult it is as a special needs parent to hold on to that peace sometimes. Um, I have a deep knowing that I'm here for a purpose, that I incarnated for a reason. We all did, and that's beautiful, and I hold that knowingness. But I will tell you, within these systems that I have awakened to, it is very hard to maintain any kind of quality of life, first of all, physically, emotionally, mentally, on any level, while you're spinning in the day-to-day activities that are needed to sustain this type of situation. And many of you special needs parents will understand what I'm talking about. It took me a while to chase down a tiny detail of my daughter's quote unquote overpayment of her SSA amount that she gets, and the ridiculousness of the paperwork, and the idea that somebody that didn't have the resources or the supports that I do would be forced to do this in order to survive. And how would you even survive you know, if somebody's going to yank the money that you get every month and you may not have the cognitive ability or the wherewithal to know how to even address it? And then when you go to address it, they add on a lot of layers of complication that make it super challenging and frustrating. So you're wrapped up in that emotion too. So all I'm saying is it is really extra challenging out there, special needs parents, anybody, caregivers, human beings these days, to look at the mass deception, the Tower of Babel we've built in our society, and not want to just roll around on the floor laughing, because it's also ridiculous, disconnected, siloed. No one talks about it. We get to the end of our little silo. We sit down and we wait for our savior, basically, when no one's going to come save us. And I think that's one thing that's hitting hard, is that we kind of get bought into thinking that if we are good and we trust the system and we do what's right and necessary, we're going to get to that quality of life. It's going to get better. Things will improve, and they do in many cases. But for, I'd say, the majority of people, you're still circling the drain of despair, and finding externalities to deal with that. Because inside, in your guts, it's I want to say effed. It's effed up. People shouldn't be forced to live like this, and to be waiting for something to come in the mailbox or in their bank account that may or may not be accurate, and have that pulled out from under you at any time. That's just one little detail as we work to support our loved ones and ourselves as in this journey, within this time-space paradigm. So that's all I'm going to say. Don't give up. Don't give up. There's hope. There's always hope. We incarnated for a reason. I believe I have a purpose. I believe these things. And I'm going to just keep talking about it, because I think for me, it's better out than in. And all that resentment builds up, and that anger and frustration, when a lot of people are living with it. And so I'm just giving, voice to it from a very specific place. There's a lot of other ways this could be mentioned and discussed and whatnot. And I'm really having a hard time getting my words out today in a way that they make sense to anybody but me. So hopefully someone will get it. Have a great weekend if you can. Find some moments of joy in the middle of your living within the towers of Babel. And get out in the woods, ground yourself, move, smoke some cannabis. Do whatever you need to do to get back to you, because you are awesome.